this video, I'm gonna kind of go over things to consider before I guess building a custom turbo kit. Enjoy. So if you guys seen in the intro, Mustang did hit 15 pounds on it. Just hit it once. We're on the process of getting back to that with this T6 turbo that you see here. Let me just get straight into it because, you know, I get asked, what kind of turbo kit is it? Can you do it on my car? And I'm not really into the business of installing turbo kits for people, but I am in, I guess in the business of informing you of what it takes. Because it takes a lot of work, man, to be quite honest with you. And it's really not a complete custom kit. I kind of based it off the BL fabrication turbo kit. I really did like the way that kit was set up. I'm into the single turbos, so that's what I based it off of. Okay, and let me kind of get into it a little bit of what I went into. So first, obviously and foremost, you're going to need a turbo kit. Now they're so readily accessible. You can buy a BL Fab, On3, Helion, whatever, you name it. My biggest thing is, one, I was trying to save a few bucks. And two, I had just got into a welding program, so I was comfortable cutting up and cut and welding and doing what I had to do as far as fabrication, okay? If you're not really comfortable with that, I maybe would probably not suggest you build your own custom turbo kit because you are going to need welding unless you can have someone come weld it for you. Just keep that in mind before you consider, building something custom, okay? And then, so what I did to start off is I ended up buying CG Fabrication forward-facing headers out of Texas. I knew that was going to be my platform. I felt like that was a good price for them, and I ended up buying just the headers, okay? And then what I did is I ended up welding all the mid pipes you see down in there. You can kind of see them all merging through there. I ended up putting like a little coupler there so it can give. There's a wastegate right in there, okay? And there's a wastegate right there. I made sure to pull dual wastegates because I seen all the big kits like that had a good, 2 wastegates to control the boost. So that's why I did it. So I mimicked that. The reason I just didn't buy a full CG Fab kits that I guess you can just buy that, the mid pipes and the headers, is just that I kind of knew that I was messing around with some turbos at the time. At the time I had a T4 GT45 turbo. I have a video up on that if you want to check that out. And then I knew that I also had this one also laying around there that eventually I was going to put on. So that's the reason why I didn't get either T4 or T6. I knew that I was eventually going to build it myself. So that's what I did. So that's the hot side, I guess you can say. The next thing you're going to need is obviously your turbo. Wherever, so many turbo options. This is S475, as I just made a video on. eBay turbo. Again, trying to save some bucks. And it's not my daily driver. I'm just trying to make as much power as I possibly can, as cheap as possible. So I ended up going with the eBay turbo, the 5-inch exhaust flange. Again, a lot of cutting, a lot of fabrication went involved into that, okay? And then you got to think about your cold side. You can get some eBay aluminum, 150 bucks probably for 3.5-inch piping. This is what it is. I did weld this one here. This is made out of stainless steel because I really needed a really tight bend here so I can keep my headlight. Okay, so I had to do that. 3.5 going into a 4-inch aluminum intercooler, which again, that's an eBay turbo, which is right in there, right underneath there. Okay, actually you can kind of see here, I just put a mesh on it, so it looks pretty rad. That seems to be working right now for what I'm doing. 12, 13, 14, 15 pounds seems to be flowing it, so I'm comfortable with that. Okay, and then obviously your welding here. The only thing I had to do here is weld the bung here for the MAF sensor. I had to weld for the, you can't see it anymore, but for the blow off valve, I had to weld that on there too, okay? Okay, so that's pretty much the turbo. Say you got that done and you got it installed and you're able to put it in there, okay? The next thing I had to do was obviously you got to think about injectors. That one, you need some good data injectors. Guys, don't try to find some that are cheap. I would recommend new, to be quite honest with you, because people use and abuse these things. I went with the Fuel Injector Clinic 1000 cc's. I knew that was going to be good for what I'm doing just now. Under the $1,000 range, so I went with those. Okay. Second thing, you will need a good fuel system. I'm running E85, so I knew that I was going to need a good fuel system. I went with 4 Innovations. I felt that was a good piece for me. I ended up buying just a basic kit. I had already the rails that I luckily found before, 4 rails. So I pieced it together, and then I ended up buying stainless lines as needed so I can kind of manipulate it and move it wherever I wanted to move it, okay? So you're gonna for sure need to invest some good money in some injectors and some fuel system. Okay, this is the dual system, so it's a, you know, not the best one, not the triple one. So again, I knew that I was gonna be around 12 to 15 pounds of boost, and I know I can take it, okay? And other than that, a good tuner. You know, they're out there, Lund's out there. I'm using Lund just because I'm working from home. They tune my stuff, so that was perfect for me. You're gonna need some little things. You're gonna need a vacuum block. This controls all your vacuum. I got everything here. I got my fuel regulator linked up to this. I got my boost controller. I got the wastegates. I got everything. You're gonna need a good vacuum block. That I got from eBay. Jack Spanier Racing vacuum block. It was about 30 bucks, inexpensive. It's working great, okay? Other than that, guys, everything's stock. I'm not gonna get into what I done inside. I haven't done much, just oil gears and some things inside, but it's just that's not the point of the whole video. Everything else is pretty much stock internally, stock Manny, stock everything. Oil catch can, yeah, I have that. But you know, I'd recommend a boost controller, and I need it. Some guys just like running on wastegate spring pressure. That's totally fine. But I am a fan of the boost controller because you can kind of get it up and trying to control it as best as possible. But that's pretty much it, guys. You're gonna, for like, I wanted to get straight to the point. If you're interested in building a custom turbo kit, it is going to require some time. It is going to require some thinking. It's going to require a lot of variety of little things, and then you still got to install it. So you're not mechanically inclined, find someone who is, friend or something, if you want to save some money there on a mechanic installing it. But that's a whole another process right there. It's not gonna, you know, it's not gonna happen in maybe in a day. If you like, now that I'm very informed in turbos and how to install them on GT like this Gen 2, I still probably wouldn't be able to do it in a day, but I'll be a lot quicker than I was from the beginning. So guys, that's just a kind of, I know I missed some things, but pretty much if you're interested in building a custom kit, that's just what it's gonna take. You're gonna need the turbo kit, the turbo, feed it with fuel, okay, and you need to tune it right, and of course alongside, change the spark plugs, you know, change this, change that. If you're running a similar mine, as you notice, my coolant reservoir is not here anymore, it's over there, batteries in the back. So there's a lot of little things. I actually moved the radiator a little bit more to give it some more clearance, so I had to cut some new hose onto the frame there. So there's a lot of little things that, you know, they don't tell you. And then you got to feed it oil, drain it oil. Luckily on this Gen 2, it has a plate. Got it from Canton Racing Products. Goes right into the original oil plate, and it drains and feeds. That's something you don't know. Gen 1, Gen 3s don't have that. So they go about it a little bit differently. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to tell you is that make sure you do your research. I guess that's the best advice I can give you before building a custom turbo kit. Do your research well on your car. And other than that, don't be afraid to get into it. You know what I mean? I cut up a huge hole in my hood just to feed it, you know, get the exhaust out. So other than that, man, guys, I hope this helps you, some of y'all, if you're interested in building a custom turbo kit. If you got a Gen 2, here it is. Here's a good platform if you want to use it. But other than that, what I just explained is very similar across all makes and models of building a turbocharger. You need the kit, you need the turbo, you need to feed it fuel, you need to tune it, okay? And that's pretty much where it lies. So other than that, enjoy, man. Thanks for watching.